So I am Cedric Gaudin. I come from Switzerland, from Musebolo, and I am listening to Zen World podcast.
Hi, this is the Scene World podcast.
Hi, this is Jörg of the Scene World podcast.
That's Jörg, and I'm AJ of the Scene World podcast, and that's what this is. So, in a minute, we are going to be talking about the new Vectrex
Mini.
Yeah, the Vectrex Mini with David Oghia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nifty. I'm interested to see. I did not make this interview. I had some things going on, so I missed it. I will be watching it with everybody else because I totally didn't download it and fix audio levels before.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm interested to see how they do a mini Vectrex, how that works, because the Vectrex that I remember was kind of like one of those mini sort of, the battery operated arcade cabinet things that you'd have back in like the 80s, your Galagas and whatnot.
Was it battery operated?
Yeah.
The ones I remember?
Yeah, the ones I remember were. I think there might have been like an option to put a plug into it, but they had like 8D batteries.
Yeah.
Weighed a ton, yeah.
But before that, we have some news.
There's news. I guess, okay, I can start. Have you heard of the I don't want to call it a scandal, but the reports of certain models of the new C64, and I think it's the Starlight version, which is the clear one with the I think it's got LEDs in it.
Didn't hear about it.
So there have been reports of this one in particular, the keyboard being a little flexible on it, kind of soft, and when you type on it, it kind of gives.
The rainbow one with the LEDs.
Yeah, well, it's a clear case and a clear PCB and everything, and it's got LEDs
for the keyboard.
Right. So I've heard some complaints about the keyboard being a little bit flexible, and there's a video that I found here from 8-Bit Times, which is showing the two main issues with it, which is that the case rocks a little bit on the desk. It's not totally stable, and the keyboard is flexing. And then and in his video, I believe that the power LED also doesn't work. And he ends up taking it apart and realizes that the power LED is just plugged in backwards. But I've also heard I've seen some posts from people talking about the fact that the keyboard flex is because the PCB is clear, and as is the plastic bracket that kind of holds everything in place. Because all the keyboard is on the C64, for anyone out there that doesn't know this, it's just a PCB that the keys push against. There's a little graphite kind of contact there, and it kind of touches little spots on the PCB. But because it's a clear PCB, it's a different sort of plastic, and it's softer than like a regular old keyboard PCB. So I have read a couple of places that the solution to this is actually just to make sure that all the screws holding it in are like at the correct tightness. And you have to put them in like, I believe you got to put them in kind of like an angle, kind of like changing a tire where you kind of go star pattern. Because if you start from one end to go to the other, then it's still sitting off. You got to like kind of go, in a certain order to get it all perfectly even. But we'll put a link to the video where he takes everything apart and can see where like the PCB
put a link to the 8-Bit Times.
Yeah, where the PCB bulges out of the keyboard frame and stuff. It's
give me the 8-Bit Times link.
Yeah, I will.
Because that has the video included.
Yes,
sounds like the best option to me.
Right out. So that's my first bit of news, and
okay. Now the question is, if it's just a matter of screwing it in the right order and putting the LEDs in the right orientation, why weren't the workers in the factory instructed to take care of that?
Right. Well, and that's kind of surprising because, whilst Commodore in this case is, our friend Perry Fractic and the whole other group of Commodore people that have been that are attached to this. Most of I'm sorry, all of the manufacturing and assembly is handled by PCBWay, I believe.
Which should have the knowledge, considering how many retro related stuff they have been done in the last
PCBWay has
15 years.
Yeah, PCBWay has a really good reputation for making quality products and doing this well. So seeing these
especially in the retro scene,
right? So seeing these sort of like little quality issues kind of seep in is surprising.
Well, it doesn't sound like quality issues. It looks like more like instruction problems.
Well, I mean, a quality issue, yeah. If the LED is put in backwards, and if the keyboard PCB isn't tightened properly, so it's kind of wobbling out.
Yeah.
That's a QA issue.
Yeah, but it's not because of bad material. It's just because the workers weren't instructed right.
I suppose
and that's
so,
surprising because that's an easy fix, you know?
Yeah.
That's an easy fix. It's easier than saying, "Oh, the whole batch is bad, and we have to make a recall."
Yeah.
I mean, showing workers and instructions how to screw in which order with which strengths. That's easy, man.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyway,
perhaps I should email PCBWay and Perfectic again.
Yeah, I mean,
perhaps together.
Yeah, could not hurt.
Saying like, talk about production issues or whatever.
Yeah, or just talk about production.
Yeah.
So that's my first bit. My second bit of news is something that actually is kind of nifty that I saw. CRG, who is I guess he's a hardware designer. There's a YouTube video, which again we'll link to, on a product called the Diego 500 sidecar.
Okay.
What
sounds like a hardware piece for the Amiga.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. So what that does is it uses the Amiga 500 has a side bus kind of thing, the sidecar bus on the side. That is what, for instance, my ACA 500 Plus is living in, that side thing. Now, I've also got on mine, there is an enhanced or an expansion here, which I don't know how well you can see it from this camera, but this will allow you to plug in a Zorro card, a Zorro 2 slot into here. And I actually have I've got an RTG video card. I just have not gotten around to setting up yet for this thing.
Wow, you are holding it. Everybody would say cringe.
Why?
Because you are supposed to ground yourself first before you touch PCBs like that.
So anyway, this the Diego's 500 sidecar builds an Amiga 500 or an Amiga 2000 style expansion, which gives you 5 Zorro 2 slots.
Nice.
And a coprocessor slot. Because so the thing with that is that the A2000 rather has a chip called Buster, which handles the kind of the muxing of the slots, decides what slot is being activated at any given time.
Nice.
The Amiga 500 doesn't have that. That's why this little expansion is only the one slot, because that's all the A500 can handle on its own, is that one slot. But this CRG has made a modern Buster recreation called the Bluster. So that handles kind of flow control for that, to let each Zorro card work and take over the CPU steps and all that stuff. So that's an interesting thing. I don't know when it's coming out, and I don't know if it'll work with. See that, and that's the other thing. I'm not sure if it'll work with my, because again, I have an ACA 500 and an Amiga 1200 accelerator living up on top of that. I don't know if this will allow me to continue to work with that, because like the thing I've got already has that sidecar extender at the end. So if it does, I haven't seen the full board, so I don't know what it, I don't know how really it works and if it would be something that would be really interesting to play with. But if so, it's cool. It's an interesting project that I'm really interested in because it's something that I would actually make use of on my Amiga.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put a link to all that stuff
Wow. Yeah.
in the podcast description so you can
Nice.
check out the video on how the guy he builds he solders it all together in that video. It's really cool. So yeah, that's my stuff. That's what I got for you.
Okay, so got some big pile of news. The Grand Prix series is actually celebrating resurfer. They are being resurfaced because Microprose announced they are working with Jeff Cremont on releasing his 4 Formula 1 games from back in the day.
Cool.
And here's the thing, though, because obviously Jeff Cremont and Microprose have lost the GP Grand Prix license. They have to rename the 4 titles so the game get a new name. The games are called Jeff Cremont Racing 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now you can wishlist them on Steam.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah. And this reminds me of some lazy companies of the 80s where games have been renamed in other regions, and they just kept...
Tower Toppler.
Yeah, but that's the wrong example because I'm talking about examples where they just kept the game name inside the game and just changed the packaging.
Yeah.
And the manual. And I mentioned that how I got Broken Sword on the Game Boy Advance in our interview with Charles Cecil, right? Because I got it cheaper on eBay because the seller thought it had the wrong packaging. So I got a discount. That's one of the few times I got a discount on my order at Amazon because he thought the packaging was wrong. In reality, they just changed the label of the cartridge. They kept the label of the cartridge and it just changed the packaging. And the rest was internationally the same. So, so this will be one of those cases when you start up the games are like, whoa, wait a second, why is the game name different inside the game? Huh? Yeah, anyway. So that's big news. Especially because in the last episode's news sections we mentioned how horrible and unsuccessful recent sim racings were. So now we are going back. Now we are going back to the 90s. Well, it's a shame.
What are those? Which of those sims would we be talking about?
Grand Prix 1, 2, 3, and now I got you. Yeah, one was NASCAR racing and the other one was yeah. Better not name it, but you know what I mean.
Did they fix any of those issues?
Yes, it says. But still, they should have done it in the first place, but never mind.
Yeah, they shouldn't have had to fix it.
The funniest thing was still raining inside the car. That was the best bit.
Yeah. Wow. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, that's good enough.
Yeah, it'll work. No one will notice that.
No. If that happens in real life, you go to the car shop and get your windshield fixed.
Your sunroof resealed. Jesus. God.
Yeah, that was amazing. Anyway, other news. Time Sorcerer Origins received a new update that is free, called Mystery of the First Wizard.
Oh.
It's a content update. I didn't check it out yet, but I wanted to mention it.
Okay.
And also, we had the Space Quest historian, right? Yeah.
Okay,
And
yeah.
we spoke about the successor of Space Quest that was done by the original Space Quest creators, Space Venture, and
Okay.
that is finally now released as a final version on Steam. It has been released on December 24th, on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So now it's completely done.
Okay, cool.
It was 12 years in the making. Easy.
Yeah.
As for many Kickstarters, people thought it would never happen. Now it happened. Yeah. So that's the other thing.
Okay.
And now I have another YouTube video from Poacher.
Oh.
We had him a couple of times in our intros. He has a new video on Sega Channel, which is the competitor product from the satellite program that Nintendo had for the Super Nintendo. And the Sega Channel exclusive titles have been found after 30 years. They have been preserved and made available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. All right then.
Yeah. And also, the limited run games had reached a settlement in front of court, and Americans are entitled for payment from the settlement.
Right.
So you can actually sign up for the settlement compensation.
Okay.
Yeah. And your fair host, the CEO, has stepped down.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. He already stepped down in September, but just released the news on X in December, and after that, he deleted it. So.
Okay.
But he is no longer CEO of the company.
Yeah.
I mean, we had this in the podcast a couple of times in the last years. They were good for all kinds of scandals.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. So that is obviously the consequence. And I always said this, like, I don't know why Saber Interactive's putting up with that. And it sounds like they don't anymore.
Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah, so they have removed him from his position. I mean, it was just a question of time, if you ask me.
Yeah.
By the shitty quality of, oh god.
Luckily,
luckily, I've never bought one of those CDR games.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Plumbers wear tight trousers.
The plumbers don't wear ties.
Nah, exactly. Yeah. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
that's a game.
And the other one that didn't play because it didn't play on consoles, it was D.
I don't know.
No, you don't remember?
I vaguely.
D. And you were like, oh, really? D.
Oh, D. Yeah, okay.
D.
Huh.
That's a nice name for a horror game, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
What does sound horrible enough? D.
I'll tell you what sounds horrible.
Yeah,
This
tell
product
me.
that I'm looking at right here. It's called okay, and the product itself. Okay, let me rephrase that because that doesn't sound very good. Um, there is a product called C64 AI, which
Ooh,
which okay, so
sounds
when
like
I
an interface for ChatGPT.
yes, it's well almost. It's so when I say it sounds horrible, not the product itself. The product itself looks really good. It's well designed. It's a Raspberry Pi with a I guess with kind of like a Wi-Fi modem thingy, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a couple of different things that are used to make it. And what this does is it gives you a live link to, I think it's Gemini.
Mm.
I could be entirely wrong. I don't know. I haven't really. I just saw
Mm.
it while we were talking, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. The new
Mm-hmm.
version uh, lets you use it to have your AI chat interface, but now you can also play SID music whilst you chat with AI. Um,
Okay.
which okay, that's cool. Yeah. So I like SID music as much as the next guy. Um, I will admit that at no time during when I'm doing something on the C64, if I'm word processing, which I don't do on the 64 anymore, but when I did that, or calling a BBS or coding a demo, if I'm listening to music, it is not SID music. Um, not because I dislike SID music, just because I don't feel the need to do that. I don't know. I don't know. So some people maybe listening to Comic Bakery while you're talking to Gemini is the way to spend your Friday night. And if so, good on you. I'm happy for you. Um, it's it's a fairly easy as a pretty shitty demo coder. It is pretty easy to have music playing while other stuff is happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a raster, just an IRQ, and then especially with this because with what this does really is it's so there's an interface. There's 1351 mouse support. There's icons on the screen.
Mm.
It looks the software for it looks good. There's a GitHub repository that I will link down there where you
Mm-hmm.
guys can
Mm-hmm.
check out the GitHub on it and maybe build your own if you want to. Um, I don't know aside from that interface
Mm.
what would be the difference between using this and like using a any old terminal program with something that parses it. Obviously you can't just go to chat gpt or whatever with your with freaking ccgms
Mm.
and go to town, but you could
Right.
access like something on a pc or another server that parses the information and sends it on to you, acts as like a an in between, like a translation
Mm.
layer. I don't know, what the it's cool. It's interesting if you're into that sort of thing. Like, it just seems like, yeah. And I said this with when we were talking to Greg Nasu with the C64 OS, which is that if I can do something on my C64 and instead of on the actual like the Mac that I've got or a PC or something, I will do that. Like if I could go and check the weather on my
Mm.
64, I would absolutely freaking do that. If I could go onto Wikipedia and look something up on my 64 instead of this, absolutely, just because I can. I already do that with the Amiga. I go on the web all the time with the Amiga
Mm.
because I can, not because it's a great experience, just because I can. Um, but yeah, ChatGPT it's not, or Gemini or whatever. It's not something that I use very
Mm.
often. Um, and
I
and it's
use I use ChatGPT a lot.
I know you do, and there are people that do that
Mm.
are. I mean, God, I go onto Twitter, and the amount of people that are like, "Grok, is this true?" Grok doesn't know anything. Grok is the village idiot. They just, and a lot of these things, and I just had a deep dive into this elsewhere. But like AI just kind of makes shit up because I give it, I upload a whole bunch of text, right, and I say summarize this, and it despite the fact that it's right there, that it looked at it, it comes up with something completely different. It makes up a whole different thing, and it's like, what are you having a stroke, ChatGPT? Like, what are you doing?
Perhaps it is Ellsworth.
What?
No.
I
Ellsworth, like worth somewhere else. But
oh, I see.
That was a little.
That was grasping a bit. Yeah, that was a little rough. But yeah, and I've seen some other things. There was a couple of posts I saw about vibe coding C64 games, and
vibe coding, another thing. We
vibe
don't
coding.
Need, yeah, I've seen a discussion about that recently. Vibe coding means you don't need any more entry levels coding jobs.
Now here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Okay, let me talk about vibe coding because I did an intro for the CC for Scene World, which has not come out yet because things are just fucking nonsense around here. But for a minute, when I was first starting that, I thought,
it's coming though.
Right. But I said, it's been a long time since I've coded anything. I know what I'm doing basically, but just for shits and giggles, I said, okay, ChatGPT, give me a framework, write me some assembly language code for this thing that I want to make. And it gave me a very long, good looking bit of code. And I sat there and I looked at it, and within seconds,
you found mistakes in the code. Let me guess.
There it is. There's the code. I actually printed it out so I could look at it. I wasn't three lines into this, and I was like, "This isn't going to work. It's making up nonsense. It doesn't actually occur."
I tried it. Like a year ago. Write me a hangman in Basic 2.0.
Right.
And it didn't know all the basic commands, so it made commands up.
But yeah, exactly. And the thing is,
command.
It does it so confidently, though. Like this annotated the code to explain what it's doing, and it's like that's not at all what that does. None of this will work.
I gave it up after 5 tries. Yeah. None of the corrections were ever made correctly, and like okay, let me fix that for you.
Right, yeah,
and
it's like, and it's always like, I'd write back, I'd be like, dude, that's not going to work because this is wrong and this is wrong, and it's like, you're right. That's a great that you caught that. Here's a new version that fixes all the problems, and that was even broken. The second version's even worse than the first one.
I know.
It's
and I'm not a good basic coder. I'm horrible. But even I noticed that commands don't exist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried about AI taking over the world because it would just code itself in a corner.
I don't know what command to use. Let's make one command up.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like invent a command.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's so amazing.
So yeah. I mean, I don't know what the use argument is for using AI on your 64. I mean, go for it if that's your thing. It's an interesting project. I like the fact that it's, I think it lives in the user port, and it's a serial connection to whatever. That's cool. I think it's an interesting idea. I don't know what I would use it for, but it doesn't mean I don't want one.
Anyway, next news.
Yeah, next.
GOG, Good Old Games, is required by its original co-founder.
Did we not talk about that last time?
Nope, we didn't.
Why do?
Because we talked about it on the WhatsApp.
Okay, so you messaged. Okay, that's why I remember it.
I emailed the guy.
Okay.
Yeah. And his name is Michael Kikinski.
Okay.
Yep. So
Yeah.
he's like buying it from GOG. And he's one of the original
Yeah,
GOG.
he's one of the original owners. Yeah.
Sorry, one of the original CD Projekt Red founders. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
CD Projekt no longer owns GOG. GOG
Yeah.
is now independent.
So do you think that that's a good thing or a bad thing?
It will not change a bit.
Mm.
Because it was already in good hands. It's the same team standing behind it. It's just a different company leader.
Okay.
But the team is the same. GOG already had people that have the knowledge for patching games, fixing code, making compatibility layers, having support people that know how DOS games work. You know? So, yeah. So,
Right.
yeah. So it is more made as a move to make sure that it doesn't go under the bus.
Okay.
When CD Projekt does something weird, and so this is not happening anymore. I think independence always better than being under a big corporation's
Oh, sure.
umbrella. So independence always better. But for the people working on the project, they will be the same. I mean, how many youngsters do you know that know how DOS games work from 80 something?
It's that word again, youngsters. He loves the youngsters word.
Exactly. So you need special people for that because they are selling it and they have to support it. And I mean, if I go to Steam on the forums and people ask me, okay, I see there is a DOS version of Doom. What does DOS mean? Then you know you need people to support because it's lost knowledge. Simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so.
What is your take on that?
I mean, my take on the GOG thing, I don't know. That's why I was asking you whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. As far as I feel like there are more young people that are getting into older stuff. I'm seeing there's a whole group of people that are online that are much younger than we are, that are refurbing old 64s, that are exploring these games that they weren't even alive for. And I think that's heartening that there are. I think the vast majority of people in the world probably are not doing that. Vast majority aren't going to know what DOS is because it's just not something that they've come across in their daily life anymore.
No.
There are a small, but not that small percentage of people in their 20s and or maybe early 30s that are exploring this older stuff. And
we have interviewed a few for the podcast, by the way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Kelsey Lewin was 27 when we interviewed her, and she is an NES expert long before she was born. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's people like oh god, how Sayaka's Digital Attic? Is that how you say your name?
Exactly. That's her channel name.
Yeah, right. She's younger.
Eleonora Sayaka.
Yeah, right. Yes. Yeah, right. Or Carrie Lawler is
because she has Japanese parents. That is why the Japanese family name.
Okay, yeah, but either way, there's these people that are much younger that are getting into this stuff, and are learning the how to use these older machines and how to fix them and how they work and everything because it's interesting. And as I said before, if a game is good, it doesn't matter if it's on if it's on the PC or if it's on the Amiga or the C64, or if it's, sticks in a box or something. If it's a good game, it's a good game. Or if it's good software, it's good software. It doesn't matter what it's on.
Mm.
And that's something that I think gets lost in the mix as people are making games with 8-bit aesthetics, or trying to get 8-bit machines to do things that newer, to play Doom or something. It's like, it doesn't need to do that, because the stuff it was good at is what it was good at. And
which is so bad, because that competition prize
right,
money was never paid out.
right, and taking
Just
a
to
new
mention
game
that.
and making it have that 8-bit graphic aesthetic does not make it a better game.
Right.
That's not what makes the game or the software good. It's how it plays or how it functions.
Best example, Thimbleweed Park. Why it was a good game? Because Ron Gilbert and David Fox,
it was a good game, yeah,
were behind it.
Right. And there are some instances in which the graphics don't hurt it. Like, again, Monkey Island there's a very stylized type of graphic to it.
Oh, the latest one, The Return of Monkey Island, where people shitted on the graphic guy.
I didn't hate it.
Me neither.
It was different. It wasn't the same.
But the majority hated it so much that Ron Gilbert had to disable comment section on his blog because people were attacking him for being an idiot.
I mean, people can be, it's that's a whole other subject.
Man, this is Ron Gilbert. He invented this shit. It's his decision what graphic style he wants to be made for his game.
Again, there's a whole other argument to be made about the state of fandom today. I mean, it goes from video games to movies to everything. There's a the new Star Trek, what the hell is it? The Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, I actually read yesterday. It came also to Germany. I'm going to watch it tonight, and people love it from what I saw. At least in Germany.
I have not seen it yet. I'm going to give it a watch when I get some time to do it. I've seen people shitting on it, saying that it's basically, I saw one comment that said, it's great that Star Trek is getting back to its roots of teenage melodrama.
Yeah, perhaps.
But again, the thing is that the same thing with Discovery. I did not personally like Discovery. Discovery was not for me.
I liked it.
Okay, there's nothing. And I'm not even going to say I didn't like it. It was not. I watched it. It wasn't my favorite. I
don't like Upper Decks. I couldn't watch it.
Lower Decks. Upper Decks is when you poop in the water tank on top of a toilet, so it all gets flushed in.
Lower Decks. I couldn't watch that.
I loved Lower Decks. I thought was one of the best Star Trek shows ever. I thought it was great.
You see, different taste.
But again, even though it was not my thing, I'm not going to shit on other people that liked it, and I'm not going to shit on the show because it wasn't what I wanted to see. That's it. I'm not going to say.
Honestly, sorry. Yeah. You see people.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you see people that are talking about, they've forgotten what Star Trek is about, and these people should never be allowed to do this, or this isn't canon Star Trek anymore because it's not right. It's like, but just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not good, because if other people do, then that's fine. Let people like what they like.
Exactly. There are different tastes.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I have news regarding that.
Okay.
Yep. And it is that Star Trek Voyager, Across the Unknown, is supposed to be released February 18th and can be pre-ordered now.
Oh, okay.
So, if you are fancying Star Trek, pre-order the next game. And it's done by Daedalic. The famous German studio known for point and click adventures, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's it. And
All right.
also, Disney announced a successor of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer called Star Wars Galactic Racer.
Oh, right.
And so it's actually one of those times where Disney listened. Because for years, people were saying in the Steam forums of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, make a remake. Make a remake. Please make a remake. So, looks like Disney listened.
Yeah.
Disney is taking a lot of good decisions in the last years, surprisingly.
Yeah, that
Because
is
people
surprising.
were like, Monkey Island taken over by Disney because they have Lucasfilm games.
Mm-hmm.
The series is dead now. But
Yeah.
And all these other things, and none of those horrible things happened.
Nope.
And as I said, they are listening to the fans. So there's really coming out a successor to the racing game.
Yeah.
Amazing. So somebody listened, and it's happening.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh my god. So perhaps it wasn't so bad after all that Disney bought all those companies, because it seems like the difference is not so big.
Well, again, there's a whole monopoly argument to be made that you don't want one company having everything.
But I mean, honestly, do I care? As long as the results are good, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's the argument people will make, is that they're producing something that I like, therefore I don't care. But there's also an argument to be made about, like, nothing else that we like can be made because they have everything.
That's of course the bad side of it.
Yeah,
fan projects are shut down. Disney is very rigorous about that.
Yes.
Yeah. While other people like Charles Cecil, and we spoke to him about it, they're like, oh yeah, fine.
Yeah. A lot of times fan stuff gets through, but it's
not for Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should probably get to the actual interview, because we've been going for a hot minute.
No, not really.
Oh, good Lord.
I still have news.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Biomenace has been remastered.
Oh, really?
Biomenace is an old title from I forgot. Apoche.
Yeah, I know. I played it. Yeah, I had that game.
Yeah, they made a remastered edition.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Remastered means it's went from EGA to VGA.
Yeah.
So it's remastered, just a notch up, but not like 3D.
Okay.
So it's basically the same game, but in VGA instead of EGA. Yeah.
Okay, then.
And that means the game is pretty small. A couple of megabytes, obviously. Yeah. So it's done in the retro way. Right. All right. Other news, and that is something you told me, actually. Stuart Chaffee unfortunately died on December 28th last year.
Yeah.
28th. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. We didn't have him on the podcast, but you did talk to him for a historical thing. Yeah. Which is nifty. He was still active up until close to the end, I think.
The last interview of him is from 5 years ago.
Okay.
And his last live sign was from 3 years ago on his X account, where he reported that he had a spinal surgery.
Okay.
at 85, and he was recovering from that, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it sucked. At least there's a. I mean, he's got a real big body of work that is,
Yeah.
that speaks for itself, and will remain relevant into the future.
And there's still a database project where they are still hunting down all the missing episodes from the Computer Chronicles.
Sure.
So if you have some of the missing episodes on VHS tape,
Got some old tapes laying around.
digitize them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will link to that.
Yeah.
And yeah. And also, other news is Eric Midokovsky, who will be talking to in February, announced the Pebble Round 2. So, the Pebble Watch will also have a round version again.
Oh.
But, due to the round size, it means less battery time and no ECG sensors. So I will be not getting the round one because I want the sensors.
Interesting.
And I want the 30 days battery life. That's amazing. Yeah, so that means Pebble is now producing 4 products. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to the interview.
Watches in a ring. Yeah, that's
exactly.
Yeah.
Hopefully no Ring of Fire. Ooh, yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. So what else? Yeah. Epic Store has a new function. Epic Store now allows you to gift games to your friends. Something that Steam had since a long while.
Yeah, I was gonna say Steam. You can do that real easily. You can gift. One of my games is still. I think the first game I ever had on Steam was actually a gift from John. Who
was it? The Jazz Sisters? Because
no, it was like Waveform or something. It was
okay, never heard.
Yeah, I don't recall. It was like an abstract kind of thing.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Now I have to be careful because we went all over the board, and I didn't go in the order.
Yeah, we have.
I didn't go in the order of my text file here. Anyway, the last interview with Stuart Chaffee was done by CDNet.
Okay, yeah.
We'll put all those links in the podcast description. Yeah. So, and my last bit of news, finally. Yeah. Yeah. It's about a GoFundMe again.
Okay.
One of the community members of Chewy Bear, the South African streamer, my favorite streamer, is actually recovering from heart surgery.
Oh, okay.
So there's a GoFundMe, and yeah, his name is Dennis.
All right.
So we will put a link to that.
Yeah.
It's actually said that mostly GoFundMes are about Americans who don't have enough health care.
Yeah.
One of the only companies in the world where the government doesn't care about the health of their citizens. It's somehow frustrating, isn't it?
It's very
for such a developed country. You get better health medical support in Cuba than you get in America.
Yeah, it's even the attempts to push it in that direction, like Obamacare and whatever else, are really just supporting the private insurance companies and not really looking out for people.
So play games until you die, while you still can, if you're American. Come on.
Play game.
Anyway, fortunately, this is not the political podcast and not the health crisis podcast.
Nope, that's not what we're doing.
And so
it could be, but it's not.
let's jump let's jump to France and talk about the Vectrex Mini.
Yes, indeed. Kapew.
Today we have another guest, and today we have David Oghia.
Oghia, exactly. You pronounce
Exactly. Yes.
you're doing well. You're doing
Yeah,
very
thank you.
well.
I'm trying my best. And you are known because you actually started a Kickstarter, I saw, for
Yeah,
the Vectrex Mini.
exactly.
And when we spoke to Chris Smith and Darren Mailburn in December, they told us you should check out those guys. They are doing
Of course.
amazing. And I wrote to you, and I think within an hour or something, you emailed back like, yes, of course. So
Oh, of course.
that was pretty quick.
For the Kickstarter, Chris Ilbert was really a key, a very important person to help us on this Kickstarter. He guides us. He gives us a lot of good advices, and he helped us to be known in England. And if you look at the community on Kickstarter, you have a part community, and on community. England is a second country for bakers on our Kickstarter.
Interesting.
More than 1,000 bakers from England, and thanks to Chris, I think. And London is the first city for bakers on our Kickstarter. So and Tokyo is the second one. But the English customers was just amazing, and the welcoming we had in England when we came to Crash live or to the other exhibition we went. That was amazing. That was such a great moment we had, and meeting people with really strange accent. Some from, I think, some from the north, from Scotland. I couldn't barely
Yes,
understand what they
Scottish
said.
people.
but an English guy told me, even us, we don't understand what he's saying. So I was
Yeah.
I was not the only one. But anyway, the English guys and the English bakers were just amazing for us on the Kickstarter campaign.
I actually see you have some behind you, right? If
Oh
I'm not
I've
mistaken.
got This is the first prototype we made
Ooh,
of the Vectrex Mini,
okay.
and this is a white one. But the prototype of the white one, but it's going to be it's sold out now. It's just a limited edition, but has been sold only on the Kickstarter. And people were very interesting in the white one because it changes, and also they were very attracted to the fact it was a limited edition. But
Of course.
some of our customers complained because when we started, we only put 200 or 300 of the white one, and it doesn't last really long. So I put 300 more, and some of our customers said, "Oh, it wasn't it was meant to be a limited edition, and now it's 600 copies of the white one."
Yeah,
But I
you
said
can't make
600.
everybody happy. Yeah.
No, but 600 is already a very limited edition. Even 1,000, and the company I'm working with in Taiwan, that is going to make the real thing, the Vectrex Mini, the end product. They said to me, under 500 copies, we can't do it. It's too low. You have to do 600 or 700 copies at minimum, because we can't make it if we don't have enough
Yeah.
enough Mini to make. So yes, it wouldn't be interesting to do only 300. I think 600 is a good amount for start. But we will not do another white one. It's
I
just
see.
600 copies for the Kickstarter.
I
We
actually saw.
maybe
Sorry.
we maybe do some other colors, but not the white one.
Red or something.
Red, orange, green,
Ooh.
blue. Who knows?
Ooh. Yeah. Interesting though. I saw, despite the Kickstarter is still, despite the Kickstarter is over, you can still make late
Yeah,
orders.
yeah, that name's late pledge. And I did that because a lot of people complained they forgot about the Kickstarter. They wanted desperately a Vectrex Mini. And I said to it, but wait, because next year we're gonna sell the Mini on our website. But when it's gonna be released after September 26th, we're gonna put that on our website. But people complain because they said, "Oh yeah, but it's not going to be the same price. Perhaps it's going to be more expensive, and perhaps." So, okay, let's do some late pages for the late customers. I'm very happy with it because we are very close to 6,000. I want to stop that. If we reach 6,000 backers, I'm going to stop the late pledge. It's going to be okay. Right. let's stop at 6,000 customers. So it's amazing. It's really amazing. So there is this opportunity from Kickstarter to end the campaign with all the details and all the stuff you can do, and to offer few late pledges you can order. But people wants to know if they can buy a second controller or another stuff. And
Right.
yes, there will be, when we're gonna ask for their to confirm their address and to pay for the shipping, we're gonna ask them if they want to add some things to their original order. So no worries. They will have plenty of opportunities, perhaps some new stuff. Who knows? Because we are still 10 months away from the 9 months away from the release. So
Yeah,
many
now
things,
that
many things can happen.
Yeah, and then, of course, now that you mentioned how things can happen, now the question would be, of course, how did it become an idea in the first place? Did you wake up one day and decided I'm making a Vectrex
No,
Mini or something?
no,
What was the starting
no.
point?
Oh, the starting point was, it's very simple. I met somebody. I
Mm,
met Julien. Julien is a French guy. He's got a lot of companies brand. He's working to collect old brands, and he's got the Vectrex brands since 21 years now, since
mm,
2005. So he started up at the early 2010, if I remember well correctly. He started up an application with an English guy named Anton, very nice guy. And they did an application for the iPad for the Vectrex. So you could play a Vectrex game on your iPad 15 years ago.
So an
It was
emulator, kind of.
yeah, it was really great. It was Vectrex on an iPad, and you have this little small cabinet you can put your iPad and use a real a joystick to
Oh
play to
yeah,
the.
okay, I know what you
You
mean. So
remember that the cabinet, I think, was named Arcade, something like
yeah, I
that.
remember that, and it was like a holding mechanism, and you could put in the iPad, and on the
Exactly.
iPad you had different kind of emulators for computers and consoles, and there you could play your retro games.
And
Yes,
Vectrex was one of them.
I
But
remember.
sadly, it didn't work very well. It didn't sell very well. And the guy Hunton, who invested a lot of money into that emulator, he lost a lot of money on this. So he stopped working on it after a few years. They withdrew the application from the store, and they
Yeah,
dropped it. So
yeah, I
Julia.
remember when I saw it, I was like, why should I need it if I have the emulator already on the device itself, you know? I mean, it's just, it's just to have the feeling of having an arcade or something. But obviously, it's not noble enough that people would spend money for it on a large scale, you know?
Yes, and also I think perhaps people were not ready for a Vectrex application. Now we have launched again the Vectrex brand with the Mini. Perhaps in 1 year, 2 year would be good to launch an application again. And
True.
perhaps it will work better now on the iPhone, on the iPad, and also on Android devices, because it didn't work on Android when they released it 15 years ago. So it's too bad. But anyway, I met Julien 10 years ago, and he told me about um, we he told me about this Vectrex story. We had the same hairdresser. We met at the hair salon. We had a haircut together. We didn't know each other, but our hairdresser was the same for both of us. And she said, "You have to talk together, because I'm sure you have a lot of things to share together. You are very local. Your spirit and the thing that interests you are the same. So you should talk together." We talk, and that's that's where it started. And he told me he had this brand Vectrex, and he didn't knew exactly what he wanted to do with it. And I said, okay, that's really interesting. But at that time, I was part of a very big edition company in France. We were releasing a lot of science fiction and fantasy book. We were the French editor for David Oghia, for example, one of a great fantasy English author that was a great guy, and many others. So I was very busy working on that in that edition company, but my mind was thinking about Vectrex, and when the first Mini were released, remember the NES Mini, the Super NES Mini, and
Oh yes,
everything
yeah.
else. It was around
2015 it was, yeah, 2015.
Oh, 2016 and 2017, there was a lot of stuff that have been released for years on the Mini. But the first one, yes, it was the NES Mini. But
Yeah.
there was a
It was so
PlayStation
hard to
Mini.
get. I remember ordering it from Toys R Us in Germany, and then a day before delivery they canceled the order because they didn't get enough units. But luckily at that time I learned somebody from German television. I got to know somebody from German television who is an editor for computer games for the state governmental TV. And so he actually made a news piece about the NES Mini with me in the German breakfast TV. And this way I got my Mini a day later.
Yeah, the first batch of production for the NES Mini was too low, and there was a
Exactly.
lot of people who are interested. But they correct that after a few months.
Yeah.
There is another batch, and it was okay. Now you can find a NES Mini very easily. But
True.
they didn't make they didn't make the same mistake for the Super NES Mini also.
True.
But anyway. After 5 years, I contact Julien. I said, now I know what I want to do. I think it would be interesting to do a Vectrex Mini for many reasons. Because it's cute. I love the idea. I've got a lot of Mini, and I think a Vectrex Mini should be really fun to do. And also for the technical part, I was thinking.
Emulation is not easy.
Yeah, but I thought on the 5-inch screen it would be easier than on the bigger one, because already a lot of people ask us, why did you do a Mini, and why didn't you do a big Vectrex like the original size? It shouldn't be impossible to do. I said, yeah, for sure. That's probably something we want to do in the future, but for the first try, let me go step by step. Let me go for a thing I think I can master a Vectrex Mini. I'm not sure I can master a bigger one, because it's going to be heavier. It's going to be, that OLED screen you have here is only 800 pixel to 500 pixel. It's not HD, but it's enough to display the vectors without having the feelings of the pixels. So it's really good. But if I did a bigger one, if I want to do a Vectrex at the same size as the original one, we need a HD a display, and probably a stronger processor and everything would cost a lot, much more money. So I don't think people are ready to pay $300 or $350 to a Vectrex, perhaps $400. I don't know. So that's why we choose to do a mini, and I thought really that was a good start for revival of the brand. Not to compare, of course, the mini to the original one. We don't have CRT screen anymore, but to make an homage. Let's start with an homage and something that could be cute and nice to have on your desk. And this one is displaying games, but the end of products will have the possibilities to display a clock with your location. So it can be really fun to have this on your desk when you're a retro fan. So that's why we start with the mini. And Julian agreed. He said, that's a great idea. Let's find a way to do that. And that's where I find Eric, who is a crazy guy from Corsica. He lives in Corsica in the south of France. And he did a Vectrex Mini for himself. A lot of minis, but among them there was a Vectrex Mini. And I find that on his his YouTube channel 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I don't remember, a few years ago. And I contact him, and he was very surprised when I asked him, "Do you want to do a prototype for me? Let's try to enhance your concept of the Vectrex Mini and to do something that we can produce in max production." And he did, and we start like this, and that's crazy. That's a crazy story.
Now the question is, I'm hearing, because you mentioned it's by the way, it's an OLED display, so there is no chance to make a clone of the original technique from vectors. Nobody would produce that nowadays, because
No,
I remember.
I think
it's not an CRT, right? Because that is like it's
it's a
different.
CRT. The original one is a CRT, but it was a specific one designed for an oscilloscope.
Exactly.
So the difference you have between a regular CRT and the oscilloscope CRT, it's just the contrast. There is no grayscale. There is only a white dot. You can modulate the intensity of the white dot, but that's just only a beam to a dot, like a laser beam. So the contrast was really amazing on the original Vectrex. Sadly, nobody produced any more screen like this since I think more than 10 years, and that would be really, really complicated, even if there were still some way to produce that. The electronics for CRT, the power supply, because you have very high power in that tube, and that would be dangerous and so much more complicated. So let's try to work with what we have now, and OLED screen are really amazing screens, and now we have to work really closely with the emulator and with the emulation, because this kind of programming allows us to imagine a way to simulate the CRT effect. So on the first one, on the Mini, we're going to try to do our best, but the result already we obtain with the simple emulation and with a Raspberry Pi, or this one works on Windows. It's a little PC stick, but already the rendering is quite good. And people who discovered the Mini on our booths when we went to Portland or to Blackpool and things like that, they were really, really, really surprised. So
because I remember most people complain about Vectrex emulation, that the screen emulation is not good compared to the original normally.
It's gonna be, we're gonna try to enhance that. and we have a very strong asset with us. We have engineers, and I can't say the names of the people working with us, but very famous names among the Vectrex community that are helping us right now. So I'm sure we're going to come up with already some things. It works as good as it works right now. It's already good, but I really want to enhance that. And I really want the Vectrex Mini to be a very nice addition to your retro collection for the mini retro collectors and for the people who got already a Vectrex and want to have this mini on the side, and that's the fun of it. But yeah, it's well, we are working really hard right now on all these details.
So now the question is, does the Vectrex Mini support the cartridge? Does it have a cartridge port, or is it like the other minis? You use a USB flash drive and put into the cartridge images, or what
Well,
is actually
yes.
how it's running?
For this product, for the Mini, there is no original cartridge reader. So it should have been too complicated and too risky for the first product we were making to do that. So
Okay.
we simulate the cartridge port just right here on the side where it belongs. But instead of a cartridge, you can put a mini SD card. So you can
SD
put a
card.
mini SD card when you put your ROMs,
Uh-huh.
and mainly all the ROMs that works with the on the Vectrex emulation will work on the Mini. And of
Just to make sure, I guess you mean micro SD, right?
micro SD, yeah,
Because
micro
mini
SD, yeah.
SD
No,
does
it's
also exist, but it's only used in China actually.
yeah, no, micro SD. You're
Micro
right.
SD. Because
Yeah,
people
you're
will be
exactly right.
wondering, huh? Mini SD, that's hard.
no,
That's hard to
no,
get in Europe. Just to make
no,
sure.
don't
Okay,
worry. It's
micro SD.
micro SD.
Yeah.
It's a regular stuff, and of course the Mini will come with a pre-installed game in the firmware. So you will not find the game on the SD card, or you can't access to it because it will be included with the Mini. So there will be 15 original games. And we are still working on acquiring the IP for all the games, so I can't tell the exact list. The only one we revealed, because we had an agreement with our creators, is USA Zombie Apocalypse that will be included with the Vectrex Mini. Not the cartridge, but the game will be pre-installed, and you will have a small overlays, a special small overlays of the Vectrex Zombie Apocalypse just for the Mini. And the programmers, who are really kind guys, they're going to modify their game just to be able to see the stuff really well on the mini screen, because you have a little dot that appear on the map on the upper side of the screen, and this dot is very small. So I think they're going to change it for a cross, and you can see where you are located in the USA zombie apocalypse. You see?
I totally understand what you mean. I remember when the Switch was new, and I got Mortal Kombat 11, and Mortal Kombat
Oh yeah.
11 was not modified for the little screen of the Switch, so you could barely read a thing on the screen because I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, no.
Sorry, I see what you mean, but that's exactly a problem. So we are going to take care with the creators of Zombie Apocalypse that everything would be easy to understand and to play. It's a very simple game. It's a shooting game, some like other Vectrex games. But yeah, really, right now we are in the process of making deals with big game companies. I can't tell names.
Yeah,
It's too early.
but let me tell you, the most impressive for me was always pole position. because I think that is
Bandai
really.
Namco.
Pardon?
Bandai Namco pole
Yes,
position.
yes, exactly. Because published by Atari, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. They also made the Atari 800 conversion, and it was also an arcade machine. And I remember that when I looked at pole position on the Vectrex, it looked like it was pushing the limits of the screen technology, because it was just barely fluent on the Vectrex. Well, that really
The
pushed its
best,
limit.
I think, the best arcade adaptation and one of the best game of the Vectrex is it's Crumble from
Ah,
Konami.
ah.
It's really, really well
That
done
too.
on the
Yeah.
Vectrex. It's really, really close to the original gameplay. And I prefer really much Scramble and Berserk. Berserk from Atari was really good too.
Yeah.
Well, there was only 3 games that came from other company like Berserk, Scramble, and Pole Position. The other ones were adapted by GCE, the original company that developed the Vectrex. So mainly all the games, original games, from the Vectrex came from GCE, except these 3. But yeah, we are in the process of dealing for all that just right now. So that's a month we are working on that,
I
and
mean, you have the advantage.
it's a lot of paperwork.
Of course. I mean, you have the advantage that Namco Bandai and Atari and all those companies are still around, actually. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, of course, they are still around, and I've got a fun anecdote about Scramble and
Sure.
and Konami. When our first exhibition with the Vectrex Mini was in Germany at Gamescom. We were invited last August, the end of last August in Germany to be on the retro booth that was run by a guy named Rene. I was telling
So
that. Yeah.
so that means we missed each other because I was there also.
Oh, you was there. Yeah,
Yes.
too bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we
we
will be.
are there since 2014 every year. So
We'll be back next year, so
okay.
we'll
So
meet
this
next
year,
year.
actually.
Yeah, this year. Yeah, this
Awesome.
year,
Yeah,
exactly.
well then we definitely should meet in person.
Yeah, sure. And we were at the Gamescom were not started yet. I was bringing my Vectrexes, my original Vectrex in their box on a trolley, on a small trolley in the street, and a lot of people from every exhibition was there converging, going to the booth, to their booth in the Gamescom, and I was outside trying not to put my Vectrex spoil that on the floor because it was really heavy, and a guy came and talked to me. He had a very strong American accent, and he said, "Oh, I love the Vectrex. It was such a wonderful console. That's one of my favorites." I say, "Me too. Yeah, I love it too." And he asked me. He said, what is your favorite game?" And I said to him, "Well, of course, I love Mindstorm because it was pre-installed in the Vectrex and it was really a great game. But if I have to pick one except Mindstorm, well, it should probably be Scramble, because Scramble was so well made and it was such a wonderful game." And the guy smiled, and he showed it. He pointed his fingers to his chest, and said, "It's mine." I say, "What? It's yours?" "Yeah, I'm the vice president of Konami, and if you want to have a Scramble in your Vectrex Mini, just send me an email." And he pointed me his business card, and it was Michael Rajna, this vice president of Konami, and that was at the Gamescom. Didn't start already, and that was really amazing.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's fate. That's fate. But it was really great, and I showed him the Vectrex Mini, and he was really amazed by the size, by the way it looks, and he loved it. And Michael Rajna is really a deep fan of the Vectrex, and he knows very well the Vectrex and all the homebrews that have been developed in 40 years. So he knows the subject very well. So it was really interesting to exchange with him and to have his opinion, and it was really great, really great meeting in the middle of the street, bringing my my Vectrex.
That's how it happens sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Now you mentioned again on the side that this Mini will not have a cartridge port. That this actually implies you are working on a full version that will have a cartridge port.
Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. Okay. A lot of secrets today.
There is no secrets. I wish I can make more minis, more bigger ones, and perhaps a real size one. It will depend of how difficult we will have to do everything for the Mini right now. Right now, I'm really focusing on the Mini because I want it to be released in the right timing, and as I promised to the bakers, they're gonna have it in September 26th. But for sure, this is like I remember Steve Jobs, what was a great guy. Perhaps not the kindest one, but really a great mind.
Not to his kids, no.
And not to people, but he was a great mind. And he said, I remember him saying, "This is not the last iPhone we are going to do," and. And since then we are at number 17 or something like that. So this is not the last Vectrex we're gonna do, but I can't tell you how and when and the form and if he gonna read the cartridge. I would like to. I really want to. I really want to improve everything on the Vectrex concept. But it depends of so many factors, and I can't promise stuff right now. It's too early. But really, we want to do more stuff. We want to do more stuff, and we really want the Vectrex brand to still be live for many years now. Now we started with the Mini. We don't want the Vectrex brand to be forgotten for 30 years again.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to work on all that, on all the aspect and all the things we can do. But of course, if we're going to release a bigger Vectrex, it's going to be more expensive because
of course,
more plastic, bigger screen, bigger power, bigger everything. But not only that aspect. It's just the customers interested in Vectrex stuff. It's very niche, you know.
Oh, of course.
We are
than Commodore 64 and all those others.
More niche than everything.
Right.
We have close to 6,000 bakers, and it's just amazing, and it allows us to do it right, I hope. But 6,000 people in the entire world, it's just very little. So we have to keep staying a small team. We have to try to do our best on every product, but it's really going to be complicated to be big products, expensive products for just 10,000 customers around the world. So that's why I can't make any promises of what the future will be. But I really want to do more, and I can assure you, I'm going to work very hard to make more stuff.
I mean, that's a problem with the hobby in general. I mean, every time I want to buy a Neo Geo cartridge for my arcade machine, it's 500 euros.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, because Bitmap Bureau is making small numbers, and then of course because it's from UK, it's getting 90% income tax, VAT. So on
Yeah,
top,
I
so
know.
it's not
I know.
a
It's too
cheap
bad.
hobby, you know. So it's not a cheap hobby to have retro machines. Yeah,
I
I mean,
missed.
if you want it
I miss
cheaper,
so much. I miss so much
wrong hobby.
UK in Europe. Well, UK left Europe. It was
Right. The
such
European
a terrible
Union.
thing.
Yeah.
It was such a terrible thing for us.
I know, I
So
know, I
I
know.
miss the English guys. I love to go in England. I will be in England in 2 days again for 4 days. But uh, well, it was really breaking my heart when the Brexit happened. Really, it
Yeah.
was really painful for me because when I was working on my edition company, mainly we have a lot of authors that came from England, such wonderful guys and girls and people we met over there, and we created strong bond with everybody. And I love to go in London. I love to go in England. And well, the Brexit doesn't help really. But
Exactly. It's
anyway,
making things more expensive,
Mm,
unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, and it's not getting better. I mean, you probably have heard
no,
the EU is planning on putting more fees on parcels from outside of the European Union, mainly because of influx of orders from China. But but then it's like,
yeah.
well, China is not my problem. My problem is UK, Norway, such countries, you know.
I know,
But
I
not
know.
China. I'm not the one buying a lot from China. I'm not a Timo and AliExpress guy. That's not
No,
my
me too.
problem.
But well, AliExpress sometimes because I need
Sometimes,
some stuff from
true,
AliExpress for the Mini, for example.
true.
I had some component I only find in on AliExpress, but I
But
never use.
wouldn't you rather use Alibaba then because of the bigger
But
numbers?
no, yeah, I could use Alibaba, but we are only doing prototypes, so it's only few
Ah, I
pieces.
see.
Alibaba,
I
you need
see.
to buy 100, 200 pieces, so
Exactly.
it's too
Exactly.
much.
I
So
see. I see.
AliExpress is really more convenient, but I never buy on Shine or Temu. It's really not interesting. It's really
Ah,
crappy products. I
ah.
don't want that.
What really would interest me is what do people think in China and Taiwan and those manufacturers when you come up with retro stuff? Do they even have an idea of what you are asking for or something?
China, Shenzhen to be precise,
Yeah.
and Taiwan was very different for me. The company I find in Taiwan was a little one, and the guy in charge of dealing stuff, the commercial part, was a Swiss guy. He speaks German, by the
Okay.
way,
Oh, it's
and
German
is not.
part of Switzerland. Okay.
Yeah, and he's not. His name is Boris. He's very kind, and he's not a Chinese guy. So the discussion was so much easier. And of course, there is the boss named Jasper. Is from Taiwan, and he's very nice too. Very straightful, but yeah, I'm working very well with these guys. But Shenzhen and China was a little bit of disappointment for me, um, because in China, mainly the people I met didn't have a lot of imagination. They can do stuff, but you need to guide them from every part of the process of doing
That's
it,
what I imagine. Yeah.
and that's really boring. Sometime I approach many companies and mainly two companies and in China, and the process of having just a quotation from the Mini was really boring. And with Taiwan it was much more easier. Not because I wasn't precise in what I wanted, but they can imagine what I wanted. They can see
Interesting.
beyond only the words, and they're starting to think of which technology, which kind of protocol, or what we can do for the mold, and what we have to do for the electrical parts, and every aspect. They started thinking of it without me asking or giving them all the details, instead of China, who you need to give them everything. So
Down to the screws.
exactly. So what was much more easier to work with this company in Taiwan, and well, it's for the moment, I think it's. I have the feeling it is a little bit slow, but it's because I'm far away, and I'm not the only one customer working with this company. But things go on and go on, and I hope we can keep our schedule that is really precise. So yeah, I'm confident. But yeah, working with an Asian company means to be ready to give them all the details they need, and to be able to answer all the questions, the technical questions they ask. So yeah, for the moment, I'm up to it, and they seems to be happy with my answers. So I hope it's gonna be okay until the end of the production. But I'm going over there in February. I'm going to take a plane and go over there and start looking at the process. I hope I will have stuff to show to my customers. So anyway.
Yeah, I remember when we spoke a year ago with Chris Smith and Darren Mayburn about the ZX Spectrum Mini, that Chris has actually fly to China to make a physical presentation of the haptic of the rubber keyboard, because they couldn't get it right, and
Yeah,
because nobody in China had an idea how a rubber keyboard feels and what it is
I
like.
know.
And so yeah, so because I mean they've never been in touch with all the technology back then, right? So they never had first-hand experience.
Yeah, and I met Sean Kelly in Portland. You know, I don't know if you know who is Sean Kelly. He's got a website in US. Is
Not
probably
not right now. No, not from the top
is
of my head.
he is probably the biggest providers for Vectrex stuff around the
Ah,
world,
okay.
and mainly he is the one who made the controllers, the new controllers that are exactly the same as the original. It's a very pretty nice reproduction of the original controllers, and he made that with few Chinese company. And he told me it seems to be really difficult for him to 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 control everything with the Chinese company. He wants to be. He is very suspicious that they're gonna stole him the idea and start selling
Ah,
Vectrex
okay,
controllers. But I
okay.
told him, "Don't worry, Sean. You know, there's only a bunch of customers for that around the world.
That's also
It's
true.
it's it's not going to be interesting for a Chinese to copy a Vectrex thing, because they're going to sell what, a few hundreds. It's not enough. When they clone the NES Mini, you remember, as you told, it was really difficult to have an S
Yes.
Mini when they released it, but very quickly the Chinese made some clones of this one,
Oh yeah,
crappy
tons.
clones, but 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 it was logical because NES was so popular, and they could sold 100,000 of it. So that's why they cloned it and they copy it. But Vectrex stuff, The market is too small. It's
True.
not interesting for them to try to conquer and to clone a market and to make false stuff on the Vectrex market because they're going to sell few hundreds only. So it's not interesting. So I told Shen, don't be so suspicious because nobody is gonna is gonna steal your ideas on Vectrex because the market is too small. Anyway.
And also what some people don't know, you can still do something about it. I mean, I remember that I bought an MVS,
Yeah.
the Gemma MVS adapter, so you can
Yeah.
actually, I think it's called MVS, right?
Yeah. From for the Neo Geo, it's MVS for the
Exactly. I wasn't
cabinet.
Exactly. I wasn't sure for a second. Yeah. So I thought, why should I buy it from eBay where it costs 170 euros? Get it from Italy or somewhere else when you can get it for 70 euros, including import fees from AliExpress. And it turns out I bought it from a shop that actually was pirating Xenocrisis and other Neo Geo releases from Bitmap Bureau. And they actually got sued and they actually got their shop closed at AliExpress. And it turned out actually that what I received was a broken MVS. So whatever you entered, you always had lines in the picture. And of course, the seller delayed this troubleshooting process so long that the buyer protection time was over. And
it's not always like this on AliExpress stuff.
Right.
And there are some retro stuff, some retro clone stuff that are really okay. Of course, that's piracy. Of course, sometimes, like when you buy a hand shield from what is a Umbernic hand shield, small ones that look like a Game Boy,
right.
not a modern one. It comes from China with 10,000 games, 20,000 games, 100,000 games. Who knows? And of course, it's piracy. But I don't have the feeling that it's gonna be a problem for gaining games because people want to have their physical games. For example, for Vectrex,
right.
If you download the ROMs of the games and play it on the Mini, for example, well, if you have an original Vectrex like me, you're gonna buy. You see just behind me here. You're gonna buy the original cartridge. Yeah. Like I've got the Christot's games and the Melbourne games here, and of course I'm gonna buy the original one. I'm not interested of having a file like I put in an Umbernic or in a Raspberry Pi. It's not interesting. I want the original stuff with the overlay, the physical overlay. That's where retro gaming is so much stronger than the piracy. And because people want the object. So sometimes on AliExpress there is some cool stuff that works, but mainly people who are producing interesting stuff for retro gaming, they're gonna sell it very well.
That's true. Yeah, well, anyway, the story ended that I was happy to find a supporter in the chat that said I will take care of it, and I got my money back after almost a year of fighting.
Wow.
So
I
was refunded,
Cool.
Yeah, because I was able to prove that what I was sent was broken from the
beginning.
From the start.
I've got a Neo Geo cartridge. I've got the Neo Geo, but not for the cabinet. The Neo Geo. I've got the Neo Geo, and I bought a compilation of games on one cartridge, and it works okay. But I've got few originals, and that's so much more. That's just
they are
great.
so expensive. Oh my god.
but now I can't afford to buy more. It's
Exactly.
too expensive. It's too expensive. Yeah,
It's
it's
incredible.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So let me ask you about the Vectrex Mini. Now that you say the market is small, and perhaps you are doing more. How about a handheld version?
Uh,
A handheld version that you can carry around on the go. Handheld, you know? Did you think about
yeah.
that?
Perhaps, yeah. You see, behind me,
Yeah.
there is a lot of handheld games
Yes,
that
I
was
see.
released in the
I
80s.
see.
I love the design of this.
True.
So yeah, why not doing that for the Vectrex? As I told you, there is a lot of possibilities. There is a lot of opportunities if it works. So yeah, I've got many ideas you can't imagine what I've got in my mind. But yeah, a handheld version of the Vectrex would be really fun if it's well done. Again, people are very well. The thing I learned from the Kickstarter is the customers from Vectrex are very specific, and they need to know a lot of details, and they want to know a lot of details, and they really care about the Vectrex legacy. So you can't do anything with Vectrex. You have to do something that is interesting for the customers, that is appealing, that the look have to be really nice, and everything comes with it. And you can't fool the Vectrex community. They really want something interesting for them. So uh, I know a lot of people didn't buy the Vectrex Mini because they don't want to have a OLED screen, or they don't want to have a 5-inch Vectrex size console. So they didn't buy it. Perhaps if I do a bigger one later, they will be interesting. But right now, I've got a lot of customers who said to me, "No, it's too small," or "No, I don't want an OLED screen. It's not interesting." Okay,
Yeah, but
the Kickstarter proves that already an important amount of Vectrex fans find that interesting. So if I want to move on to next products, it has to be the same spirit like we did for the Mini. And as you can see, there is a little kiosk here that is exactly the reproduction of the original kiosk for the Vectrex that was released in '83, and it has been done by a Canadian guy named Dave. And Dave is working right now on making more of this little kiosk for the Vectrex Mini to be able for the customers to buy one. And I've been asked so many times because it is so nice to have the kiosk with the Vectrex Mini. So yeah, we're gonna do that because I've been asked so many times to do it. And yes, we are going to do more stuff. But again, I will not tell.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm also always teasing Darren Mayburn when is your C64 portable coming that he promised 2016 in Indiegogo and never delivered. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I know.
I know.
Yeah, it's a hard time. So anyway, did you decide on making more minis, or will Vectrex be the only one for you, or are you thinking
Oh,
about branching into other systems as well?
oh yeah, good question. No, right now we are gonna really focus on the Vectrex brand because already Atari did a lot of stuff. They just released the Intellivision Spring. Well, if you look at all the brand that has been already released in minis or
True.
in new format. There is not much left
That's true.
that could be really interesting for the customers. Vectrex was one of the last, I think. So yeah, let's focus on what we can do with vector graphics and Vectrex. And I think there is a lot of stuff to do. And maybe I've got ideas for side products that are not branded Vectrex or branded from retro stuff. But it's another story. I've got many ideas. But I'm for branded product, for licensed product, I'm gonna really focus on the Vectrex brand.
Interesting. Is that just because you got to know the person from a haircut, or did you focus on Vectrex before you met him already?
No. It comes with Vectrex comes with Julia.
Okay.
Because I'm a retro fan for everything.
Okay.
I love the Sinclair brand. I love the Sinclair Spectrum and the ZX and the QL. I love of course I love Commodore stuff. I got a Commodore 128. I got of course Amigas. I've got Ataris. I've got every Ataris, I think.
Wow. Okay.
I've got so many stuff, and of course Amstrad and Texas Instrument TI 99 4A. I love that. I love all the consoles. I love all the games and old games. And so, if you want to play with old games or today, you have some stuff like the Superboy, the Superboy. Yeah, it was SNES stuff. I've got a lot of emulators. You can play on a Switch 2 or Switch. There is a lot of way to play old games.
That's true.
But I love to play with the original hardware. I love to have the original hardware. So when I started collecting retro stuff, I started collecting a lot of different brands. I was not focused in one brand. So Vectrex was among a lot of different stuff. But when Junior told me he had the brand, I was focused on that only. But yeah, it didn't. I didn't. I was not a Vectrex addict before starting to work on the Vectrex Mini.
Interesting. So let me ask you: the brand, is that he owns it worldwide, not only for France?
Yeah, worldwide. Except for Canada.
Ooh.
That is my friend Dave Dolmer who did the Vectrex kiosk, who got the brand in Canada. But as he's a good friend, I don't think he's gonna have it's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Selling in Canada. But
Yeah.
Julien got the brand everywhere else.
Yeah, because I remember in Germany it was actually Milburn Bradley who did the Vectrex
like
release.
in fact, it was a little bit more complicated than that.
Even more complicated.
Yeah, no, GCE was the creator of the Vectrex and was the main distributor of the Vectrex in the US in 82, 83. Milton Bradley takes the distribution for the rest of the world, except Japan. So Europe, mainly Europe. Milton Bradley was releasing the Vectrex in Europe, across Europe. That's why we had a different logo in Europe than in the US. That was GCE logo. But GCE was bought by Milton Bradley just 1 year after releasing the Vectrex, because they were close to bankruptcy. So Milton Bradley became the only owner of the Vectrex in '84. But they didn't last very long. They last only 10 months, I think, or 8 or 10 months. before stopping the Vectrex production because they were losing a lot of money on this.
Yeah.
So Milton Bradley still produced some stuff, but they were bought 15 years after that, 10 years, 12 years, I don't remember, by Hasbro. Hasbro bought Milton Bradley. That's when the Vectrex IPs came back to Jay Smith, creator of the Vectrex. He got his company Smith Engineering, who get back the IPs from Milton Bradley when they were sold to Hasbro, because he had a contract to prevent the Vectrex IPs to go to another company
That's smart.
than Milton Bradley. So when Milton Bradley was sold, the Smith family, Jay Smith, get back his IPs, his rights on the Vectrex brand. That's where he started to tell the people that he wanted to the Vectrex to be freeware, to be a free community of developers, and you can use the Vectrex sources to create your own games and to develop your own stuff and IPs around Vectrex as you wish. He said that, and somehow Vectrex became something that was freeware, shareware, but it doesn't work that way in the real life. Because in US, when you get a brand, you have to renew the brand every 5 years or every 3 years, I don't remember. So you have to pay to keep the brand alive. That's where Julien takes the brand after a few years after Jay Smith abandoned it, and that's where Julien 21 years ago get back the brand to be able to develop the Vectrex application for iPad. But he did that with a lot of different kind of brand, and I know he did that for Vectrex because he loved the Vectrex. But it's only the brand. That's not the IP for the games. And the only one who got the rights for the games, more or less, because these rights issues are really complicated, but mainly the GCE games are owned by the Smith family still now. And Jay Smith is a very old guy, but is in good shape. I talked to him, and and I talked to his son, Spencer, and they are great people. And Jay is just amazing, and he's got his memory, and he talks with a lot of anecdotes and stuff about the Vectrex. So I can't tell you a lot of that too, because we are still talking. But
you're working on it. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm working on it, and I have them on the phone, and we discuss, and it's great. It's just amazing to be able to speak to the creator of the Vectrex himself. So, and I'm still have in focus the fact we are gonna do a book. So I really want, it was in the Kickstarter. So I really want to have a Jay Smith interview for the book. It would be really great to update all that with the creator himself. So I'm crossing my fingers, and I hope I will be able to go to US very soon and talk to Jay in person, and I will be really talking to a living legend. So yeah, hopefully, I hope it's gonna be possible to do that.
Now I have to admit I'm not so deep in the history of Vectrex, but as you make it sound, he must be in his 90s or something, right?
I think close to 90. I don't know, and I never find, and I didn't have the courage to ask him how old he
How old are
was.
you?
Perhaps I will ask his son Spencer. But I think Spencer is about my age. I think it's 57 or 58, something like that.
I mean, it would be rude to say on the phone, "I want to interview you before you die" or something. That would be bad.
But I will know. But he's more than 80 for sure, 85 probably, perhaps close to 90. But he looks really well. He looks amazing. When you look at interviews of Jay, for I think the last one was 15 years ago, and it already looks really nice. It's a very tall guy. He looks like an American hero, you know, the one that goes on the moon, like astronauts or test pilot. He looked like a Air Force test pilot. He's very handsome man. So he still look really well. So yeah, it's amazing, and I really want to make to spend more time with Jay, and not only on the phone if I can.
Awesome. Good luck with that. So you said the Kickstarter late backers pledges will soon end. You said.
Yeah, well, I think I well, my birthday is next week, so perhaps I will start that for my birthday. Well, I want to reach. Really, it would be great to reach 6,000 customers. I would be very happy. So that's. I think I will stop at 6,000 customers. So it's gonna be soon.
That means when this episode is out, it might not be possible anymore to make a late pledge,
Well,
but it will be later a mass production unit on your homepage where you can
of
order
course,
from.
when we will release the Vectrex Mini for the people, there will be on Vectrex.com. There will be Vectrex.com is already on, but there will be a store where you can find the Vectrex Mini and some of the Bluetooth controller and some of the stuff we're gonna sell, the book probably, and everything will come along to the Vectrex. So we will have our own shop on the Vectrex.com. So
Awesome.
Yes, probably in September, probably just before, so for pre-order, perhaps in July or August for pre-order on our website. The price will be probably a little bit higher than the price on the Kickstarter, because I really want the people on Kickstarter to keep the feeling that they get the best price for the Mini. So
True.
I will not double the price. It's only perhaps 5 or 10 euros more. But people ask me about the price we are selling the Mini, that is around 150 euro plus tax.
I saw that, yeah.
Perhaps we could have done a cheaper price. And a lot of my friends told me, oh, it's too expensive. Keep it lower than 100 euros. And I said, no.
Yeah.
That's not possible. Yeah, that could be possible. But the problem is you don't know what problem you're going to be confronted to when you're going to do that. The issues can happen anytime, and you can spend a lot of money trying to correct the problems. And so, but nothing is sure in electronics and in technology. And if I want it to be done, I needed to have a minimum price that I feel that was not too expensive, but not too cheap also, because we need the money to do it right. And the money is going to be used to test the hardware, to test the mold, to test the packaging, to do the best packaging, to do everything the best way we can. I don't want the Vectrex Mini to be a cheap product. I want it to be as good as the Astrocity Mini or the Egret 2 Mini, that was great stuff from Japan. So that's the same spirit I want to put in the Vectrex Mini. That's why,
of course,
I couldn't lower the price too much.
Also, people forget it's a Mini that has a screen inside. which other minis don't have, because you connect them to the TV.
Exactly. And you will be able to connect it to the TV because there will be a video out just behind. So
right.
you can have it on a bigger
But I
screen.
mean, it's designed primarily to function on its own.
Yeah, of course. But you can have it on the bigger screen if you want, because we're gonna have a video out behind. So I can have it on the big screen just behind me.
Probably
And,
HDMI or something.
probably HDMI, but don't say the word because it's licensed.
Ooh. Well, I mean, there's an alternative. You could make DisplayPort instead.
Display or USB-C.
Right. I mean, those two things are not with license. So.
Exactly. But you can put an HDMI out and don't pay the license only if you put the connector without mentioning it's HDMI, without the logo HDMI. If you put a HDMI out and you don't want to pay for HDMI, you just don't mention the logo HDMI and you just mention it as the video out, and it's going to be a HDMI. But you can't name it. Because if you name it, you have to pay $10,000 each year for the license, and about 25 cents for each console that will use the HDMI port. So it's not a lot of money, but I don't like the idea of paying for a thing just for a logo.
Right.
If I can have a HDMI out and I don't need to put the logo HDMI, people will know that's a video out, and they will know how to connect it. But if not, I think I will put a USB-C out, because for $5 you can have a USB-C converter to HDMI on Amazon. You can have very easily. So
that's also possible.
That's not very complicated. But I will see. But I'm not at that stage of choice right now.
Right. I mean, I'm lucky. I got a secondary TV with Android on it, and it still has composite. So there are still modern TVs with composite.
Very few.
Very few. If you are lucky.
You could have a composite video out on the Mini because the resolution is not HD, but HDMI is so much easier to connect to a modern screen now. So
yeah, the other option would be component, but that is more known in the US, not in Europe. The only device in my household that has component is actually my DVD recorder, and my PlayStation, and PlayStation 2 also has component.
Cool.
Yeah. Anything else is composite and HDMI. Yeah. I don't know, this color separation from the US never made it to Europe very much.
No, I don't know why. Perhaps because we had a Peritel connector in France, and it was the Euroscart, we have that, and it includes the RGB signal, and it works with RGB signal. So, but perhaps that's why we didn't have component video. But I don't know. Yeah, I never thought about that. I've got so many TVs at home. You can't see here, but I've got more than 50 CRTs at home.
I only got I only got one TV on my left that you can't see, and two in my cellar as spare parts. So, but not 50. Oh my God!
I've got 50.
Wow.
And they are burning really often because there is a component in the old CRT screen, but it's just a filter. Sometimes it's for the power supply. Sometimes it's for the and that's a very simple component. These filters are very old, and they are made of paper and chemical stuff. and they are burning very often. So sometimes I've got a sound of a component exploding, a glitch, and a very big white smoke coming out of the TV, and people are really afraid. Oh, is it burning or is it? I said, no, don't worry. It's a filter that is burning. It's not much.
Actually, that happened to my TV 5 years ago.
It's not bad. You just have to unsolder the filter that burn, and see the references. There is some references on it. You buy a new one, you just replace it, and it's gonna start again. Very easy. I did that many times on my old TV, because just 2 weeks ago I was streaming live with a friend a few weeks ago, and one of my monitors start to make the noise and the white smoke that doesn't smell very well, well, I replaced it 2 days ago. It took me 10 minutes, and I've got a lot of spares because I know it happens very often. But when you change it, it doesn't broke anymore. It works really well.
Well, the thing is, I'm not very good in electronics when it comes to
me
repairing.
too. I'm not very good, but it's very simple to change it. Just beware when you open a TV. You have very high energy into the tube, so don't touch that. But you can unsolder that part. It's very easy, and in few minutes you replace it by a new one that is the same size, and you just need to know the kind of filter it is. There is some numbers on it, and you find the same one with the same numbers, and it's very easy to be replaced. I say that because probably a lot of people who's going to hear the podcast had the same story, and they have their TV making a flash and a very white, deep white smoke. And just don't worry, it's not a big issue. It's very simple to repair that. There is more complicated issue on CRT screens sometimes, but this one is very impressive to see, but not very complicated to repair.
Yeah, the problem is I don't have the fine motoric skills for soldering, so
ask a friend, ask a good friend.
Well, the problem is many people are afraid of CRTs because of the danger, and so what I did actually is I found a repair shop that still would do it, and it was the quickest repair ever, because I remember there were two guys in their 20s picking it up on a Monday morning, right? And on Monday evening, I already got a call from the tech guy. Said like, "Oh, it was just a net filter, easy fix. We can bring it back tomorrow." But the problem is that most repair technicians nowadays, they only repair as LCDs, and they are not willing to even touch CRTs or something.
I know.
So it's like, no. So those people are dying out. So those technicians are mostly in their 70s now, and the problem is many don't even have the oscilloscopes anymore, and all the devices you need to diagnostic old TVs and stuff, right? Yeah,
I know.
But anyway, I found somebody who did it. It wasn't cheap, but at least the TV survived, But it was exactly as you described. It went bam, and then it was white smoke coming out, and
very, very smelly white smoke.
Yes,
and
exactly.
and the picture and the picture comes out. No more picture.
Exactly.
And you just have to unplug it and change the filter. It's a very small component, not very complicated.
Well, the thing about this TV is actually that 3 years earlier it had a bigger repair, because I got this for free from my family, and and the picture was all wobbly and stuff, and
That's the filter. That's the filter. It doesn't. it doesn't focus very well.
Yeah,
You
I
see,
see it.
there is
I see it now. Yeah.
there are numbers on it, and yeah, numbers. You see,
Now it's focusing. Yeah, I see it.
and
Yeah.
and this one is
They've
burned
burned.
already.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
Yeah.
that's exactly that. You see, there are only 2 pins, and it's very easy to unsolder that and to change it.
Yeah. Anyway, the tragic thing about this TV was when it was barely working when I got it from my father's
Oh,
girlfriend, right? And it turned out when I found another technician to look at it that the PCB had a crack, that the power supply had a shortcut.
that's more complicated.
And this repair took like 3 weeks because they had to find spare part from a similar TV, and it cost me 150 euros. That was like, wow. That
more
was
expensive than the TV itself.
exactly. That was very, very expensive, but I wanted to keep it. So anyway, that's my little CRT repair story here in Germany. Anyway, thanks for taking the time and talking to me. Very interesting.
It was really a pleasure, and I hope it's going to be interesting for for the people who's going to hear the podcast. Thank you so much for having me in this podcast. I was delighted to talk with you, and let's keep in touch for next stuff.
Awesome.